Welcome everyone to the Things Around 8. Dear friends, in this video we will talk about the death of the President of Iran, Ebrahim Raisi, and the consequences of this for the Middle East, at a particularly tense moment in the region. This Monday, May 20th, the Vice President of Iran, Mohsen Manzouri, officially confirmed the death of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, after the helicopter he was traveling in crashed into a mountain peak while returning this Sunday from a visit official to Azerbaijan. In the helicopter, other important Iranian officials were also following, notably Hossein Amirabdollahian, Iranian Minister of Foreign Affairs. After searches that lasted almost 20 hours, the charred wreckage of the helicopter was found in a mountain that was very difficult to access, close to the border with Azerbaijan. Searches that were greatly facilitated by a Turkish drone sent on purpose to assist in this task. The causes of the accident are not yet officially known, but the terrible weather conditions and lack of visibility may have contributed to it. The helicopter he was traveling in, a 45-year-old Bell 212, was only qualified for visual flights, which reinforces the theory that the pilot may have reduced altitude in an attempt to perform a visual flight, at which point he crashed into the mountain. But a full investigation will still take place to officially determine the causes. But who were Ebrahim Raisi and Hossein Amirabdollahian? And how could the death of these two Iranian public figures impact the Middle East? Ebrahim Raisi was 63 years old and had been the president of Iran since 2021. He had a career marked by his position as an ultra-conservative cleric and jurist. He entered the Iranian judicial system shortly after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, assuming several senior positions, including Attorney General and Deputy Chief Justice, serving as head of the Iranian judiciary between 2019 and 2021. One of the most controversial parts of his career was his participation in the so-called Death Committee during the mass executions of 1988, where thousands of political prisoners were executed, many of them by express order. With almost 5,000 executions behind him, Raisi was nicknamed the Butcher of Tehran, with several international human rights organizations accusing him of serious crimes against humanity due to his role in this event. Raisi was elected president of Iran in 2021 in an election widely seen as favored by the regime, receiving 62% of the vote. His presidency was marked by an ultra-conservative stance of opposition to the West and the expansion of Iranian influence in the Middle East, through the strengthening of terrorist groups in the region, with emphasis on the Palestinians of Hamas, the Lebanese of Hezbollah and the Houthis and Emirates. He further reinforced the so-called morality policy which, among other things, brutally restricts women's rights and freedoms and acted with extreme brutality to contain the various protests that have emerged in the country in recent years. It is estimated that since he assumed the Iranian presidency, close to 400 political opponents have been executed in Iran. Hossein Amirabdollahian was an experienced diplomat, having served as foreign minister since 2021. He was known for his close relationship with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force and played a significant role in Iranian foreign policy, focusing on strengthening regional ties, especially with neighboring countries and powers like China and Russia. During his tenure, he was a central figure in important diplomatic events, including the restoration of diplomatic relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia, facilitated by a China-brokered deal in March 2023. He was also involved in critical discussions about the situation in the Middle East, including the Israel-Hamas war, acting in a way seen as decisive in strengthening the Palestinian terrorist group, with some Israeli sources even claiming that he had an important role in planning of the terrorist attack on October 7, which left more than 1,200 people dead and almost 250 kidnapped in Israel. But how will the disappearance of these two Iranian public figures impact the current situation in the Middle East? It is clear that Raisi's disappearance will have some impact, but, in practice, the official support that Iran already offers to its allies in the region, and mainly, to terrorist groups such as Hamas, will not be affected. Raisi and Amirabdollahian were just two of the most visible from the theocratic dictatorship of Iran, but they were part of a gigantic and complex mechanism whose central piece is represented by the dictator, Ayatollah Khamenei. Khamenei succeeded, in 1989, the founder of the Iranian theocracy, Ayatollah Khomeini, and he holds supreme power in Iran, with his word deciding all the most important state matters. Therefore, despite two important pieces of this gear having disappeared, The engine of Iranian theocracy built around the dictatorial figure of Khamenei will continue to function as it has done since 1979. The biggest impact with Raisi's death will be on Khamenei's succession plans of 85 years. Like Raisi, Khamenei was also president of Iran and many saw Raisi as his successor. With Raisi gone, another hardline Islamic fundamentalist politician or jurist will have to be chosen. Internally, the regime's repressive actions are expected to strengthen to prevent dissident groups from taking advantage of the current situation. Therefore, even more police violence, state repression and arrests and executions of Iranian opponents are expected, but on an external level, especially in relation to Iran's involvement with terrorist groups such as Hamas. The outlook is that everything will remain the same. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news.